Hello, everybody. Welcome into Klein Scott Field, the home of the 2024 Newton Rebels. The start of their home slate about to commence against the Derby Twins. This is the part two of their two-game slate, or this two-game match between the two teams. Excuse me, trying to get my words straight there. But last night, the Newton Rebels did fall short against the Derby Twins by a total of 8 runs over in South Wichita. They're going to look to kind of redeem themselves here today, once again in Klein Scott Field, in just south of North Newton, Kansas, and in Newton, Kansas itself. Jeez Louise. My name is Adrian Holguin. I'll be bringing you all the action this afternoon and into the early evening. When we come back, we'll bring you the top of the first here from Klein Scott Field. Stay with us. You don't want to miss a second. And welcome back into Klein Scott Field. My name, once again, Adrian Holguin, the top of the first, fixing to commence once again between the Derby Twins and the Newton Rebels. Let's go through kind of what happened last night for the Rebels themselves. They lost 11-3 against Derby. Disaster struck in the latter stretch of the evening, though, where they had trouble closing out the ball game. Here we go. First batter up on, of course, or beside home plate. Jeez Louise. We'll see what happens here. Awaiting the pitch currently. And that one is hit to start us out. Looks like it's going to be a single, as the batter did get it out into right field and get the ball on the ground, of course, before the outfielder was able to get it in. Tate Lewis starting us out on the pitcher's mound for, of course, the Newton Rebels. Cade Sheldon going to be putting it up, or back to bat, up against once again the pitcher for the Newton Rebels. That one, straight down the middle, it looks like, good for strike number one. This next pitch, maybe more the same. No, it's going to say it's a little bit low of the strike box. Ball one, 1-1 count to start us out. And that one does make contact out between first and second, but the Rebels able to get the runner out at first before, though, the Twins are able to advance over to second themselves. Not a bad start, of course, for the Twins. Once again, the Rebels did have some troubles, of course, from the pitching mound last night over in Derby. If they want to come out on top today, they're going to have to turn that around. We'll see if they are successful, of course. Tate Lewis sends off his first pitch, and that one is low. 1-0 count. Pitch number 2 is just off the mark, allowing the runner to advance over to third for Derby. Nolan Ganter, I believe, is the runner on third. Potentially could come in here with an RBI. And that pitch is inside the strike zone, 2-1 count now. Trying to get some things straightened out here from the broadcasting perspective. I apologize. It feels like I'm a little spacey right now. But once again, the Rebels trying to go to a 1-1 overall season record. And that one almost hits us up here in the press box off of course, the bat right there from Holden Pantier. The right-handed pitcher, or the right-handed hitter out of Walters State, Erie, Colorado, is where he's from. Crossing state lines, never a bad thing. Obviously, both of these teams just got over to their respective homes just a matter of days ago, to be honest with you. Still kind of trying to get some chemistry together as a team. 3-2 count now, full count. All the pressure now once again on Tate Lewis. See if he can put the batter away. And that pitch does make contact with the bat. And the first baseman for the Rebels not quite able to get underneath it, which means another pitch coming up. Once again, full count, 3 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out already in the first inning. Batter on third for the Twins. Or runner on third, excuse me. Jeez Louise. And at that time, Tate Lewis indeed able to get the batter out. Or no, I spoke too soon. It will be a ball and a walk. Runners on first and third now for the Twins. As a new batter now makes his way up to hit up against Tate Lewis once again. Not a good start once again for Tate, but he's going to try to bounce back here. First pitch on the way. And it looks like that one will be a little high. Ball 1, 1-0 count. Once again, runners on first and third for the Twins. Lewis sends that one in, and that one is in, but off of the dirt, allowing for the runner pitcher to get over to second. And it looks like the Twins will get their first run on the board, if I'm not speaking too soon. Off of that muffed pitch and catch right there. Ryan Ruggiero is behind home plate, the catcher currently for the Rebels, and it looks like they did not get him out once again. I did not speak too soon. Thank goodness. The Twins up 1-0 now. Once again, 1 out in the first inning. 1 runner also on second for the Twins. Lewis sends that one in there. Closer to the batter. She's been kind of favoring kind of the outside portion of the strike zone. Maybe starting to get away from that after kind of that slow start. 2-1 count now. And that one once again hits into the dirt. Ryan Ruggiero not able to haul it in, and the runner advances over to third for the Twins. Rebels once again facing a 1-0 deficit here early on. Between this next inning, we're going to try to kind of get our scoreboard up and on the board. Having a little bit of trouble with that right now. I apologize. Trying to get some stuff singled out or maybe figured out in our home opener here from a production perspective. I apologize. 3-2 count now. Once again, Tate Lewis on the pitching mound for the Rebels. Ryan Ruggiero able to get that one in, but once again, the pitch comes in low. Another walk allowed by the Newton Rebels. Steven Vasquez now heading over the right-handed hitter, of course, right-handed pitcher, South Mountain Community College out of Phoenix, Arizona. Man, I mean, honestly, that's a little south from here, a little bit more warmer weather, to be honest with you. I don't know if he likes it more up here or down there, but hey, that's a little bit off the mark. Ryan Ruggiero not able to haul that pitch in. He tried to get the ball over to second base. Instead, the pass off the mark goes straight into center field, and that allows another runner to make it home for the Twins. The Rebels facing an early 2-0 deficit. Not the start they were needing after already losing their first matchup just last night in Derby. 1-0 count, 1 out here in the first inning. And that one is straight down the strike zone, straight down the middle. 1-1 count now, first inning. That pitch once again off the mark. Ruggiero not able to haul it in, and he tried to get it over to third, but the third baseman not able to haul it in himself. Runner heads over to the home plate. And he, of course, makes it there unabated. 3-0 lead now for the Twins. The Newton Rebels having some trouble to start us off. Steven Vasquez still the right-handed hitter, the right-handed batter, if you will, trying to get on a base. 2-1 count still. And that one a little bit high. Ball number 3, 3-1 count. Tate Lewis winds up and sends that one in. Ruggiero not able to haul in the pitch. Allowing for Vasquez to make his way over to first base.
Number 10, Mitchell Birdsell.
And now up next, Mitchell Birdsdale going to get over to try and grow this Twins lead. Once again, the Twins up 3-0. Empty out the count, 0-0 count, only a 1 out in the first inning. That pitch goes in and gets into the strike zone, just glances kind of that bottom portion. 0-1 count now. That pitch just to the outside of the strike zone. Of course, in accordance with the batter. 1-1 count now. Vasquez still on first base. Maybe kind of flirting with a steal here. We'll see what happens, though. This next pitch in and just glances the top portion of the strike zone. 1-2 count now. Still 1 out in the first inning for, of course, the Rebels, who are trying to get the Twins off of course, the diamond. 3-0 lead for the Twins. That pitch is going to be a little too low. 2-2 count. And that one is more of the same, not quite able to get it into the strike zone right now. It feels like is Tate Lewis, but maybe kind of trying to test his batter a little bit, trying to kind of test his tendencies, if you will. 3-2 count, 1 out, still in the first inning. 3-0 lead for the Twins, and it looks like Vasquez is able to advance over to second as that last pitch was outside the strike zone, and it will allow the runner to advance to first base. Richard Gutierrez now up for the Twins to take this next set of pitches. Ryan Ruggiero kind of heading over to the pitcher's mound, kind of trying to reset a little bit. Obviously, it wasn't the start that either him or, once again, Tate Lewis were looking for. We'll see what happens here. Lewis sends that one in and right down the strike zone. 0-1 count now for him. 3-0 lead for the Twins. And Ruggiero called for that one to go to the bottom right. Of course, portion of the strike zone outside of the said strike zone. Ball on that one, 1-1 count. Runners on first and second for the Twins. Richard Gutierrez drives that one, at least flirting with the left field. Ends up going out and into foul ball territory. 1-2 count. That ball almost hits the head right there of Gutierrez. Geez Louise, testing him a little bit. 2-2 count now. Good job of Ryan Ruggiero going up and calling that ball in. Once again, 2-2 count. Runners on first and second for the Twins, who lead 3-0. That one once again a little bit high. Another ball, full count, 3-2. 3 balls and 2 strikes. I should also kind of correct myself there. Got to be as clear as possible. That one once again high of the strike zone. Yet another walk. Bases now loaded for the Twins.
Number 35, Nolan Shaw.
As Gerkshaw makes his way over to, of course, the batter's box. Nolan Herchuk, outfielder out of Marlow, Oklahoma, going to try and put some runs on the board and grow this Twins lead. That ball hits or bounces off his bat and over to foul territory. 0-1 count, 1 out in the first inning. The Twins already up 3-0 with bases loaded once again. I apologize. Trying to get the scoreboard figured out, but we'll get it figured out for you, I promise. Going to try and figure it out myself, or kind of trying to relay the information for you. 1-1 count, 1 out in the first inning. Herchuk was swinging for the fences on that one, but not able to make contact. 1-2 count. Herchuk did a great job at not swinging at that one. Bounces almost off of his foot. Allows the runner to advance from third to home. If I'm not mistaken, that was Steven Vasquez. We heard his name earlier after he was walked, of course, by Tate Lewis. 4-0 lead now for the Twins. 2-2 count, 1 out in the first inning. Top of the first, to be exact. That ball does bounce off of the bat, or off the swing from Herchuk, but doesn't go anywhere. 2-2 count still, 1 out in the first inning. Top of the first. That ball is made contact with, but a beautiful job out in right field for the Rebels to haul that ball in, and they will keep the runner on second, but they do allow a run to come in. That one did come from Mitchell Burstall, the catcher out of Morgan Hill, California. Coming all the way from California to Kansas. Quite a long trip out here to compete in some collegiate baseball, but he puts the Twins up 5-0. 2 count is what they're saying over here on the big board here in Colin Klein Field. Oh, nope, they're going to be taking it back out. Geez Louise. 1-0 count now. Top of the first, 2 outs. Rebels slowly starting to kind of inch away here, but they're having some trouble kind of keeping runners off of course, the 3 bases in center field. That ball, bottom left, 2-0 count, 2 outs. Runner still on second for the Twins. That ball hit by Darlun Ferreira. Kind of an interesting name right there. Kind of took me for a loop, but nevertheless, 2-1 count. Good patience by the batter on that one. 3-1 count now. Tate Lewis still on the pitcher's mound for the Rebels. That time he makes contact on the swing out to center field. And the Rebels able to get their 3rd out of the first inning. They're going to head over and try to get some points on the board, get some runs on the board, if you will. Currently down 5-0 up against the Twins. When we come back, we will remain in Colin Scott Field, and we will bring you the bottom of the first. Stay with us. Welcome back into Newton, Kansas. The Rebels facing some early adversity, down 5-0 after they allowed a handful of walks in the top of the first. Going to try and bounce back here, though. You know, the best kind of kryptonite for giving up runs is putting them up yourself. Of course. Starting us out, batting Jordy Lopez. That first pitch is in. But just off the mark, Lopez not able to make contact, of course, with that one. 0-1 count. And Lopez makes contact with that one, but out into foul ball territory. Oh, 2 count. Lopez looking down the pitch, not swinging at it. A little bit outside of the strike zone, a little bit to the left. 1-2 count. That pitch looked to be a little bit low from the pitcher. 2-2 count now. Tanner Nelson. Pitcher out of Cisco Community College sends that one in there. A little bit high and to the left. 3-2 count now. Faced by Lopez, of course, the left-handed batter for the Rebels. Full 2 count. Pitches in, and Lopez makes contact between left and center field. The ball hits the ground, and Lopez thinks about heading over to second, but he will stay at first. Rebels back up and on the bases, or on base, excuse me. Lopez, great job of making contact. Still no outs in the second inning. Lopez once again on first. Chris Clark going to be trying to make contact with his next set of pitches. He does just that, and just over the head of the third baseman for the Twins. The Rebels starting to go on a little bit of a run of their own. Runners on first and second. Cooper Addison now heading over, of course, to the batter's box. Catcher and pitcher communicating as they should. The Rebels doing a good job at bouncing back here early in the bottom of the first. Addison showed a bunt right there, but the pitch goes a little bit too far away from him, not able to make contact. 1-0. Looks like the Rebels going to try and load up the bases and try to get some runs in. Cooper Addison once again, left-handed batter for the Rebels right now. Make that a 1-1 count. Umpire thinks Addison got a little bit too forward with his bunt attempt. Runners once again on first and second for the Newton Rebels. Lopez. I'm attempting him a little bit at the second base, but Addison makes contact out to right field, and the right fielder for the Twins able to bring that one in, but his long pass across the diamond did not hit its mark. Looks like Lopez able to put the Rebels on the board, but that was before the Rebels picked up an out at third base. Good try right there. But once again, the Rebels got on the board finally. Chris Clark was the one that got out at third base, trying to advance from second to third. An aggressive move, but hey, a move that honestly needed to be made. I mean, if you're complacent down 5-0, I don't know what's going to happen to you. Pitches in, a little bit outside of the strike zone, a little bit far from the batter, if I'm not mistaken. Goebel, a left-handed hitter on this one. Goebel makes contact, And the shortstop not quite able to haul it in. Holland is hit, and he will advance over to first. The Rebels not going away early. Runner back on first. Down 5-1. Drew Wardle now making his way over to try and get on base himself. The first baseman out of Pratt Community College. Mays, Kansas is where he's from, a little bit north of Wichita, Kansas. Swings for the fences on that one, but does not make contact. 0-1 count. Pitch is fired in and almost, if that fence was not right in front of me, it would have hit me right in the face. Jeez Louise, 0-2 count. Rebels trying to eat into the Twins' lead. They allowed 5 total runs at the top of the first. That pitch is in and low, but not hauled in by the catcher. He's going to have to pick that one up. He was unaware of where the ball was. And that allows the runner to advance all the way from first to third, and also the batter to advance to first himself.
Marcus Bullard.
Unfortunate sequence of events right there for, of course, the Derby Twins. Pollard, the right-handed batter, now in the batter's box for the Newton Rebels. Pitcher tries to get the runner out at first. Unsuccessful. Going to now look over to home plate, it looks like. A little flustered after that last sequence of events. Pollard makes contact, fires it over and out of play. 0-1 count. That one almost straight into the dirt. 1-1 is the count from Newton, Kansas. Runners once again on first and third for the Newton Rebels. Pitcher tried to eliminate the one on first. Unsuccessful once again. Trying to get a quick and easy out. Once again, 2 outs. Bottom of the second. Rebels trying to stay alive. Try and continue to cut into this 5-1 lead. 5-1 deficit, I should say. 1-2 count. Pitch is fired in and a little bit low. I believe Tanner Nelson still on the pitching mound. Yes, he is for the Derby Twins. He allowed some runs, but a good job overall by the defense of kind of eliminating those runners and keeping themselves out of harm's way. That one is swung upon, and it will bring up. We're going to stay at a 1-2 count, it looks like. Maybe I didn't see something right. Who knows? Who knows? Still bottom of the second, 2 outs. Rebels are facing. Backs up against the wall early. Once again, they allowed 5 total runs, top of the first, to the Twins. And that one goes a little bit low. 2-2 count now. That one barely makes contact, and they get the runner out at second, and they get the runner out at first. A quick double play to end off the bottom of the first inning. The Rebels going to be heading over to the top of the second, facing a 5-1 overall deficit. They put up some fight, though. We'll see what they can do when we come back. Stay with us. Don't want to miss a second. And welcome back into Newton, Kansas, the home of the Newton Rebels. Rebels currently facing a 5-1 overall deficit in the top of the second. And that pitch goes inside, of course, for the Rebels. Connor Chaso is the one on the pitching mound for the Rebels. Early 1-0 count now to start us out here. And that pitch, once again, outside the strike zone, 2-0 count. Fires that one in and makes contact with the bat of the batter. And looks like the third baseman is able to haul that one in. A great job outside by the defense of the Rebels.
Now is number 7, Cade Sheldon.
Of keeping him off or keeping the runner off of second on that one, kind of saving themselves a little bit. Cade Sheldon was the one, Cade Sheldon is the one heading over to the batter's box, and that was Natasso that fired that ball up in the air and put up the first out. That pitch a little bit low once again, 1-0 count. Sheldon makes contact, sends that one into the back fence right behind him, 1-1 count. Jerrio, once again, not able to haul in that pitch after it bounces off of the dirt right underneath him. Luckily, it doesn't come back to haunt him as no runners are on base for the Twins. Down once again, down and outside. Off the mitt of Ruggiero. Ruggiero, kind of a hometown boy out of North Newton, Kansas. Catcher currently for the Newton Rebels. Cade Sheldon stares down the pitch, makes contact, but once again in foul territory. 3-2 count, now full count. All the pressure now on the Rebels defense to get their second out on the board, or get the second out on the board in the bottom of the second, or the top of the second. Contact made, headed straight into center field, but once again, great job by the Rebels defense of hauling that one in. 2 outs now, top of the second. We're zeroing out the count once again. Great job of responding by the Rebels defense after that slow start to the first inning. Umpire making his way back behind Ryan Ruggiero, catcher currently for the Rebels. Pitch is fired in and graces the right side of the strike zone. 0-1 count. That pitch a little bit low that time. Holden Pantier is the individual in the batter's box. Stares this one down and doesn't swing at it, but it does graze the strike zone. 1-2 count for the Rebels defense. Ruggiero not able to haul that one in once again. Took a while to kind of communicate which pitch should be sent from the pitching mound. Some miscommunication on that one. 2-2 count. Connor Chaso sends that one in, makes contact from the batter, and sends it straight into right field. And the Rebels able to get the Twins off of the field and out, of course, of the top of the second we go. From Newton, Kansas, the Rebels still down 5-1, but they're showing some fight after a slow start to the ball game. We'll be back. You don't want to miss a second. And welcome back into Newton, Kansas. Ryan Ruggiero starting us out from the batter's box. The Twins currently leading the Rebels 5-1 at the bottom of the second. First pitch in on that one. Ruggiero does not make contact. Pitch 2 coming up. Second pitch comes in, and that is going to even us out. 1 ball, 1 strike. You're going to have to kind of remain patient. Hasn't had the start to the game that he wanted from the catching spot, but hey, a lot of time to redeem yourself still. Once again, 2-1 count. Pitch once again, middle of the strike zone, 2-2 count now. Jared's going to have to kind of remain patient here. The Twins would love nothing more than to get him out right now. Get kind of that first out on the board, bottom of the second. And Ruggiero indeed does swing at that one. But count going to stay 2-2. Or 3-2. I thought he swung at that one, but they're going to say that it was a ball. Maybe I'm just going blind. Who knows? But Ruggiero does get walked over to first. And the end of that one, of course, kind of the standstill. Count going to go back to 0-0. And 1 runner on first base for the Newton Rebels. That is Ryan Ruggiero, the hometown kid out of North Newton, Kansas. Lance Wyke back to bat for the Rebels. 1-0 count now. 1 runner once again on first base for the Rebels. Wyke now awaiting pitch number 2. Doesn't swing at it, but the ball does grace kind of the top left corner of that strike zone. 1-1 count. Ruggiero thought about taking off from first to second, elects to stay instead. And that will bring up ball number 2, 2-1 count now. Wyke, once again, your batter for the Newton Rebels. Ruggiero indeed does take off. They're going to try to get him out, but Ruggiero makes it home. And some miscommunication that time for the defense of the Twins as the pass was not converted over to Holden Pantier, who, of course, is over playing second base just to the left of the first base for the Twins, of course. Ruggiero, great job, heads-up play, getting from first to second, setting him up for a potential run to home. We'll see what happens here. Wyke still the batter for the Rebels. And that next pitch will get called a strike. 3-2 count, full count. Runner once again on second for the Rebels. And that will be ball number 4. Wyke heading over to first base. Ruggiero going to stay put. Still 0 outs for the Rebels in the bottom of the second. And they're doing a good job of getting on base and setting themselves up. A little bit of a meeting at the pitcher's mound now going to take place for the Twins, it looks like. Of course, Newton Rebels, founded way back in 2000 by Carl Hodges. Carl still runs around Klein Scott Field grounds on game days. Is honored each year when the team gives out the Carl Hodges MVP award at the conclusion of every single regular season. Not a bad legacy to leave, of course, in Newton, Kansas, South Central Kansas. More of a geological way of putting that, but hey, who cares, man? Who's trying to be specific? Still 0 outs, bottom of the second for the Newton Rebels. Pitch number 1 is in. And the Rebels once again trying to kind of load up these bases and trying to get some more points up on the board. That one falls straight up off of the batter's bat. Blake Koss back there, the right-handed hitter, trying to kind of get the job done here. We'll see what happens. And he does make contact on that one, trying to beat the ball over to first, and he will be successful. The pitcher for the Twins kind of lost track of the ball when he was running over him and Koss, almost kind of made contact. It's still Tanner Nelson over on the pitching mound for the Twins, but I mean, bases loaded just like that for the Newton Rebels. Trying to get some RBIs in now, of course.
I think Lopez can go yard.
Pitch into Lopez. He has to kind of lean back a little bit. Ball number 1. Still 0 out, so really could swing at the fences if you want to. And Lopez does just that. Gets the ball between first and second and brings a runner home. The Rebels cut the lead down to 2-1, or 5-1, excuse me.
Now up to bat. Number
There
12,
you have it.
Clark.
Chris Clark. Back out in the batter's box now. Bases still loaded for the Newton Rebels, who still trail 5-2. They're trying to kind of start a little rally here. Bottom of the second, they need it. And that pitch goes nowhere. Still swung upon. That time. And that pitch a little bit low, but the umpire says it just grants the bottom side of that strike zone 1-2 count. Next pitch coming in. Batter has the lean back. Going to be another ball. 2-2 count now. We might be having a little bit of trouble with the scoreboard. Once again, I apologize. We'll keep it right here, though. 5-2 is the deficit faced by the Newton Rebels. That ball kind of goes out to the outside portion of the strike zone. Not able to get over there with his bat. Once again, was Chris Clark. But Clark, I mean, he can get some bombs, I've heard. Kind of talk to his coaching staff, kind of early portions of this season. Looks to kind of hold it in there. And he will get walked over the first, and a runner heading home for the Newton Rebels. 5-3 is the deficit faced by, of course, the home team. Lance Wyke. That time, plays third baseman and first base, excuse me. Able to get home on that one. Once again, 5-3 is the deficit faced by the Newton Rebels. And the Twins are going to be meeting up kind of at the pitcher's mound. And it looks like the Rebels kind of doing a similar type of deal, maybe at third base. I'll be back momentarily, and we'll bring you kind of the second half of the bottom of the second, excuse me. Stay with us. And welcome back into Newton, Kansas. Cooper Addison going to be setting up And, of course, the right side, or at, of course, the right side of the home plate, the left-handed batter. Going to try and get another hit and get another run. Of course, that ball goes a little bit, that pitch goes a little inside and to the bottom. 1-0 count for, of course, the Twins, who are trying to get another out, the first out on the board at the bottom of the second. Addison swung a little bit too much on that one. Umpire going to call him out on it. 1-1 count now. 1 ball, 1 strike. Runners, bases loaded. For the Rebels, Addison makes contact. And between first and second, Addison makes it to first. And the runner makes it home. A quick RBI for Addison to start us out right there. Exactly what the doctor ordered proverbially. And the second runner also makes it home. Goodness gracious, the Rebels staying on track here. Blake Haas makes it home, and it looks like that was Jordy Lopez finally making it back out around. A quick 2 runs in now. Game tied up 5 apiece. I apologize. Once again, we're having some trouble with the scoreboard. The dang scoreboard's giving us some trouble, but nevertheless, game tied up 5 apiece here. Still 0 strikes, 0 outs, and 0 balls here. They're sitting back up. That first pitch is looked like it was to the outside, but the umpire thinks otherwise. 0-1 count. Luis Diaz is also on the pitching mound. We saw them kind of make a quick little adjustment during our last kind of timeout right there. We'll see if it pays dividends. That was contact made right there for the Rebels. Titan Goebel, left-handed hitter, trying to head it out to the outfield and get some more runners in. 0-2 count. Goebel makes contact with that one and over the head of the second baseman and out to right field. He makes it to first and he's looking for second. Is he going to make it there? He does, and he brings a runner in as well. The Rebels just like that, up 6-5. What a start after they gave up 5 straight runs at the top of the first inning. Goodness gracious. I mean, since then, it's just been a nonstop rally, it feels like, for the Rebels. They did allow a run at the top of the second inning, but other than that, I mean, they've really just taken over this ballgame. Chris Clark was the runner to make it over to home. And now we got runners on second and third for the Rebels. Swinging for the fences right there was Drew Wardle, the first baseman of Pratt Community College and residing in Mays, Kansas, just maybe 25 miles south or so from Newton. This next pitch goes over his head, and the Rebels will not be gifted with a quick run to home. Geez, let's try to get a little lucky right there, but the umpire makes a stop to it. 1-0 count. Wardle sets back up. 0-1 count they corrected to. Diaz sends it off, and Wardle swings for the fences but does not make contact. 0-2 count. Runners once again on second and third for the Newton Rebels.
Number 49.
And they're going to try to get both of those runners in. Of course, only 1 out at the bottom of the second inning, where the Rebels have already scored 5 total runs. That pitch is to the bottom right portion of the strike zone, or very much close to it. 0-1 count currently being shown, 1 out. Still, Diaz fires that one in and into the dirt. Catcher not able to haul it in, and another runner goes in for the Newton Rebels. 7-5 is the total lead now for the Newton Rebels. Once again, after the first inning, the Rebels were down 5-1, but they have bounced back in a huge way, currently leading 7-5. You really couldn't ask for any more, of course, if you're a Rebels fan. 1-1 count now. Runner on third for the home team. Pitch once again goes straight into the dirt. Marcus Pollard, now the batter. Right-handed batter for the Newton Rebels out of Sherwood Park, Alabama. There you go. He swings for the fences on that one. Strike. That will bring up a 2-2 count. Don't want to swing one more time ill-advisedly, if that's even a word. I mean, that would lead to the second out of the inning. The bottom of the second, I should say. Pollard makes contact, but it goes straight over to Diaz over on the pitching mound. He gets it over to first base and gets Pollard out at first. 2 outs now, bottom of the second. Still some time for the Rebels to get a runner in. Ryan Ruggiero making his way back over to the batter's box with a runner on third. Could see an RBI coming up here. He's going to have to remain patient, though. Ruggiero is once again. Pitch in and low. 1-0 count. Diaz fires this one in. Once again, a little bit low. 2-0 count. Two pretty much identical pitches. Back to back right there. Good job by Ruggiero. Kind of staying patient and staying smart in the batter's box. Once again, into the dirt. 3-0 count. Rebels once again leading 7-5 in this one. 2 outs, bottom of the second. Runner on third, Ryan Ruggiero. Trying to put him home. Diaz puts that one in a little bit inside, and Ruggiero going to head over and get walked to the first base. Really couldn't ask for much more. I'm sure Ruggiero would like to get kind of his bat on the ball, but hey, get over to first nevertheless. Runners now at first and third for the Rebels. Seven 5. Rebels lead. That pitch leads to an 0-1 count. Runners on first and third for the Rebels. Ruggiero thought about stealing for second again. Looks to stay at first instead. And that pitch, bottom portion of the strike zone, 0-2 count. Once again, 2 outs. Bottom of the second. Rebels trying to grow their now 7-5 lead. Ruggiero steals second, or trying to. Won't get tested as the catcher was not able to haul in that pitch at the end of that one. Big time break for Ruggiero, but still 2 outs, 1-2 count. Rebels desperate to once again get Waikiki a hit and some inevitable RBIs. Stays patient, a little bit high of the strike zone now, 2-2 count. Rebels up 7-5, 2 outs. Bottom of the second, 2-2 count. Pitch is in. And they will say that Waikiki is going to be heading back over to his squad with that 2-3 count now to end off the bottom of the second. When we come back, top of the third, the Rebels leading 7-5 after a huge comeback coming out of the top of the first. Stay with us. More action coming your way. The Newton Rebels lead 7-5 here at the top of the third. Going to try and get a quick 3 outs here against the Twins and get back in the driver's seat proverbially. One count. Chaso still on the pitching mound for the Rebels, coming out of his, of course, previous appearance. He was able to put the Twins away, top of the second. Sends that one in a little bit outside of the strike zone. Now 2-2 overall count. Aiden O'Malley making his second appearance from the batter's box. I'm a little bit low into the catcher, Ryan Ruggiero. 3-2 count now. Full count, I should say. Back up against the wall now is Chaso. Heyman and Ruggiero going to have some big-time, great communication to put this runner out. Makes contact with that one. Out to center field. And not able to bring it down. Runner now making his way around the bases. Makes it all the way over to third. Holy smokes. Aiden O'Malley put on the proverbial jets. Makes it all the way out to third base. Going to now empty out the count here for you. 7-5 is the Rebels' overall lead. But the Twins not going away here early in the top of the third either, just like we saw the Rebels kind of turn on the Jets bottom of the second. Both these Twins kind of going back and forth in terms of momentum. Nolan Ganser makes contact with that one and over the pitcher's head. Hauled in that time by, I believe, the shortstop and gets the runner out at first, but runner does make it home. Aiden O'Malley all the way after getting that third base shot. Puts the Twins back up out on the board. Game now 7-6 in favor of the Newton Rebels. Ryan Ruggiero, bottom right, hauls that pitch in. Make sure Birdsall, looks to not swing at that pitch, a little bit low. Ruggiero not able to haul it in because of that. See if he swings at this next one. 2-0 count. That pitch a little bit to the outside. 3-0 count. Chaser going to have to kind of attack that strike zone a little bit. Feel like, and he does just that. Gets that pitch into the bottom portion. 3-1 count. Ooh, that one fired all the way straight over to the third baseman for the Newton Rebels. Lance Wackey jumps up and mosses that one straight up out of the air. 2 outs. Now top of the third. Goodness gracious. That was a highlight reel play if I've ever seen one. I mean, put that man on SportsCenter. Holy smokes. Pitch in to the outside. Out of the mid of Ryan Ruggiero. Richard Gutierrez now. Back out in the batter's box for the Derby Twins. Derby once again took down the Rebels last night in a home affair. Put down the Rebels by a score of 11-3. Rebels trying to kind of get back at them a little bit. Take their overall season record to 1-1. Top of the third, no runners on base for the Twins. That pitch a little bit up. 2-1 count. Chaso takes his time, fires that one in. And Rogerio hauls in the strike. 2-2. Pitch a little bit low, and that will send the runner all the way over to first base.
Nolan Kershaw.
Chaso wants that one back, but chance to redeem himself right here. Rebels once again up 7-6. Pitch comes in a little bit low to Nolan Herchuk, excuse me. Big number 35, left-handed hitter. Chaso stares him down. The pitcher's mound, fires that one in, inside. 2-0 count. Two outs. Top of the third. That one sent out in the foul territory. No harm, no proverbial foul. Runner for the Twins tried to advance over to second. I don't know what he was trying to do there, to be honest with you. He's going to be heading back over to first, the umpire says. Runner still on first now for the Twins. After that, Chaso tries to get him out. He was close, but the umpire says he was barely safe. Chaso almost caught him lacking on that one. Gets a step too slow. Try to find him at first once again. No moss. 2 outs. Still top of the third. Rebels up 7-6. Chaso fired that one in there. No luck. Or the same, if you will. 2-2 count. That ball out to right field gets out of play, but the umpire keeps it alive. Runners rounding the bases, heading home now is the Twins. They're going to have to get him back. Ball goes over to Rogerio. Oh! And he was just, it looks like, not able to get him out at home, but that was so duper close. If I'm not mistaken, I'm going to wait for an official ruling. Holy smoke, but Rogerio was right there, though. That ball might have just been a step too slow, but can't really blame him on that one, I don't feel like. 7-7. Game is now knotted up at. There you go. Official ruling is made. Still 2 outs. Top of the second. Ferreira, left-handed hitter now for the Twins. Facing now an 0-1 count. Top of the third. One runner now on second for the Twins. Top of the third once again. That pitch out of the strike zone. 1-1 count. Chaso really doing a good job of kind of responding. He kind of took over after kind of a bad start for the Rebels. Top of the first, and that ball bounces off the hand of Ryan Rogerio. Allows the runner to advance all the way over to third from second. Still 2 outs, 2-1 count now. So Chaso is staring down from the pitching mound. Pitch goes in and off the dirt. Good job of Rogerio, keeping that one at bay and out of harm's way. Game tied up 7 apiece. Pitch goes in and off of the bat. Bounces off of the first baseman. A runner heads home for the Twins, and he gets home. And that will result in a double right there. Tremendous job by the Twins of once again getting a runner in. Ferrer was the one, once again, that got that second. That got over to second and also hauled in the runner from third base. Twins now lead 7-8. That pitch a little bit to the outside now. Still 2 outs. Taro. Now faces a 2-0 count. Not going to swing at that one either now. 2-1 count. Good job of kind of staying patient there. You know, kind of facing kind of a probable kind of count. 2-0, you know, kind of be a little patient in that scenario. 2-1 count now. Hits the ball out all the way out to first, or out to center field, excuse me. Got a little up on my words there. Forgive me. And it is hauled in by the Rebel defense, bringing an end to the top of the third inning. The Twins not going away, currently leading 8-7 in this back and forth affair from Newton, Kansas. We'll be back for, of course, the bottom of the third. Well, welcome back in to Newton, Kansas, South Central Kansas, if you will. The Derby Twins taking on the Newton Rebels in this collegiate summer baseball matchup. Of course, June 2nd, 2024. I guess it's not quite May anymore. No clouds in sight. Beautiful day, honestly, for some baseball. A big-time back-and-forth affair, to be honest with you. 6 total runs were brought in by the Rebels in the second inning. 5 were brought in by the Twins in the first inning, and now the Rebels trying to bounce back after allowing 3 of their own at the hands of the Twins in the top of the third. First pitch, 0-1 count. That one goes a little bit low. 1-1 count now. And that pitch bleeds it all the way over to 2-1. Overall 2-1. Not a bad start for the Twins, but that one bleeds over to a 3-1 count. Could see a walk here. Wouldn't be a bad start for the Rebels. At the bottom of the third, once again trailing the Twins 8-7. Now it does make contact, but out of play on that one. Blake Koss, I believe. The batter right now, that one almost hits him in the head. I believe it will make contact with his left shoulder. He's heading over to first base. Runner already on the board, or in play, I guess, to make it home and put some more runs on the board for the Newton Rebels. Jordy Lopez, left-handed hitter, going to try to advance some of these runners on base. Let's swing at that one. But it does glance the inside of the strike zone. 0-1 count. Pitch is fired in and made contact with the Rebels do, and runners advance to second. And now the hitter advances all the way over to first. Not too bad from Lopez, who got some good contact on that one. But now Chris Clark going to make his way out to try and do the same thing and get some of these runners home. Twins once again up 8-7. Clark going to be looking for the bunt here, as the Rebels going to try and load up these bases. Runners currently on first and second at the bottom of the third. Chris Clark doesn't swing at that one. Pitch goes a little bit to the outside. 1-1 count. That pitch, a little bit to the outside, a little bit up top, I should say. 2-1 count now. Runners still on first and second. Rebels trailing 8-7. 2-1 count now once again. 0 outs in the bottom of the third. Clark makes contact with that one. Almost gets over the fence to the out, or right behind him. Could have taken out some cars right there. Thankfully, that did not happen. 2-2 count. Clark hits that one between first and second. Some great precision on that one. Does not bring the runner home.
He's back.
But does advance the runners over to second and third. Could have. I don't know what was happening there. I mean, the right fielder kind of hauled that one in there. Thought they were going to be heading home. Tried to kind of pass it over to him, but instead the ball ends up over to the second base. And thankfully for the Rebels, bases are now loaded. Going to reset the count. Rebels now in prime position to get some more runs on the board here as they currently trail 8-7. Once again, bottom of the third. Both of these teams, in their second current outing of the season, the 2024 campaign for them, the Derby Twins and the Newton Rebels, both of them would eventually get to the top of the Jayhawk Collegiate League and make it all the way over to the NBC World Series. A little bit over a month away. Here we go. Bases loaded. First pitch going to be coming in. Cooper Addison does not swing at it. Strike number 1. That one goes out of the strike zone. A little bit too far from Addison for him to be able to take a proper swing at it. 1-1 count. Addison tried to swing at that one. Swinging for the fences. 1-2 count. Addison doesn't swing at that one. Going to be out of the strike zone, it looks like. 2-2 count.
Here's what we're doing.
Addison swings low at that one, tries to kind of dig it out of the ground. Going to be striked out. 2-3 count to end that one. 1 out now, bottom of the third. The Rebels still have bases loaded. Only imagine what head coach Justin Hensley's kind of saying to his guys right now, kind of, stay patient. Still a lot of baseball to be played here this afternoon/evening. 7:21 now in Newton, Kansas. PM, I should say. Don't want to confuse anybody. Oh, 1 count. Pitch fired in. And outside the strikes, a little bit too high, it looked like to me. 1-1 count. Titan Goebel. Sees that one, makes contact right over to first base. Caught out of the air. And that will bring up the end of the bottom of the third. The Rebels still trailing by a score of 8-7 to end out that one. We're going to come back with, of course, the top of the fourth from Newton, Kansas. Stay with us.
First up at
Well, welcome back.
Cade Sheldon.
Into Klein Scott Field, Newton, Kansas. For, of course, the top of the fourth. The Newton Rebels down 8-7 to the Derby Twins. First pitch is in, and to the outside to Ryan Ruggiero. A new pitcher is in for the Rebels. Brendan Beyer up on the pitching mound. 1-0 count now. Make that a 1-1 count. Pitch number 3 is in, and off the mitt of Ryan Ruggiero, going to be counted as a ball, 2-1 count. Cade Sheldon is the batter now, up for the Twins. Ball out, 3-1 count. That pitch also off of the dirt and is going to walk the man right over to first base. Not a bad start for the Twins in the, of course, top of the fourth inning. Holden Pantier once again heading over and up bat for the Derby Twins. Brendan Beyer going to send in this pitch. And off the mitt of Ryan Ruggiero, sending the man right over to second base. Runner advances now from first to second. As we just saw. 0 outs, still top of the fourth. 1-0 count now. Fire pitches that one in, and it makes contact with the bat. Runner advancing over to home and over to second.
Cut it.
And that sends him straight over to home plate and leads to another run being posted by the Twins, who will now lead by an overall score of 9-7 this afternoon. Runner going to be on second still. Bayer still on the pitching mound. Bayer sends this one in. Just inside the top of the strike zone, 0-1 count. 0 out, still top of the fourth. Bayer sends that one in, and it makes contact with the bat of Aiden O'Malley. Out to left field, fires it over to home, but not fast enough in the process. Another run scored by the Derby Twins. The Rebels now trail 10-7 with Bayer still on the pitching mound. Here comes Nolan Ganter. Once again, going to try and grow this Twins lead. Runner on first for the Twins, top of the fourth. Still 0 outs. Pitch to the outside, 1-0 count. That one in the strike zone. Ruggiero try to fire it back over to first. Interesting stuff. But nevertheless, 1-1 count. Bayer keeping an eye on first. It looks to just fire it in. Ball out of the bat, or off the bat of the hitter. And Ruggiero not going to try to talk it over with his pitcher heading back over to the back side of home plate. Runner still on first for the Twins. Top of the fourth, 0 outs, 1-2 count. After that last hit attempt. Ball off of the bat. Ruggiero tries to track that one down out of the air, just over the fence. Obviously, on the other side of the fence of Ruggiero, you couldn't have got that one even if he tried. Even harder than what he actually did. 1-2 count still. Nolan Ganter, still the right-handed batter for the Twins. Just outside the strike zone, 2-2 count. Twins still leading 10-7. Bayer fires it in and off of the bat. That time it's going to be a double play opportunity. They get the runner out at second, but Nolan Ganter does advance over to first. It's a touch two still on the double play attempt, but nevertheless 1 out now. Top of the fourth. Mitchell now back in the batter's box, right in front of Ryan Ruggiero. Runner on second. And Bayer receives the call. Gonna fire it in. And that one does make its way into the strike zone. 0-1 count. Make that 0-2 count. Pitch in, and Ruggiero not able to haul it in. A runner going to advance all the way over to third. And in prime position now to make his way back over.
I said I can't take it. It's working.
Makes his way all the way back over to prime scoring position.
Good.
Byer fires that one inside. Ruggiero able to keep it out of harm's way, but the runner is going to advance over to first after he was hit by the pitch.
Richard Gutierrez.
Mitchell heads over to first to be exact. Richard Gutierrez now going to be setting up in the batter's box. Going to try and do more of the same for the Twins in this back and forth affair. Pitch is fired in to the inside. Almost hits Gutierrez on that one, but stays right off them 1-0 count. (2-0) count now in Klein Scottsfield, Newton, Kansas, South Central Kansas. To be exact, 10-7 lead for the Twins. Runners on first and third. 2-0, your count, 1 out, top of the fourth. That ball made contact with, but out of play. Make that a 2-1 count. Richard Gutierrez steps back up to the plate. Tells the ump he's ready. And this pitch is coming his way. Byer to the outside goes his pitch. Ruggiero. This picture's honestly not making it too easy for Ruggiero, though. I mean, I know he's not having his best day in terms of hauling in these pitches, but can't fault him for it all, to be honest with you, I feel like. It's team sport, of course. Runner up to second. And that runner did make his way all the way over to home. 11-7 is the deficit now faced by the Newton Rebels. Top of the fourth. And runner's going to advance all the way over to first base. After that one,
Nolan Hershaw.
Nolan Hershaw makes it over to the batter's box. There's a team meeting going to take place over on the pitcher's mound as the Rebels kind of reeling a little bit after the top of the fourth. That has brought 3 total Twin runs. That comes after a top of the third where it also brought in 3 total Twin runs. They're going to try to put an end to it. 1 out currently. And, of course, once again, the top of the fourth. Nolan Ganser. Excuse me, not Nolan Ganser, Nolan Hershaw. Next up to bat, inevitably for the Twins. Rebels kind of supporting their guy over on the pitcher's mound. Love to see that, to be honest with you. Here early on in the season, once again, these guys only met each other, a lot of them, maybe less than a week ago. Still trying to get that chemistry going. And, some hiccups are kind of expected probably early on in the season, but it's all about what you do roughly a month from now. Pitch goes in and brings up a 1-0 count. That one is swung at, but no contact is made. 1-1 count, top of the fourth. That pitch brings up a 2-1 count now here, top of the fourth once again. Nolan Hershaw going up against Byer. Pitcher Brendan Byer, who sends this one in to the outside. 3-1 count. And it's looking like Hershaw could potentially get walked all the way over to first, but we'll see what Byer has to say about that. 3-2 count, full count. Anything can happen. Runners on second and third. Twins up 11-7 over the Rebels. Pitch goes inside. Ruggiero able to kind of haul it in, but at the end of the day, Herchuk going to head over to first. Base is now loaded.
Harlan Guerra.
Just like that, a new batter does make his way back up. Jarlin Parisia. A pitch inside. 1-0 count. Bases once again loaded. Anything can happen. Some more runs could either come in for the Twins, or the Rebels could finally kind of put them away here. That ball made contact with, but out of play. 1-1 count. Make that a quick 2-1 count. Gonna have to get this one into the strike zone if you want to kind of get these runners out here, or get these batters out. Made contact with 2-2 count. Fire receives the signal. Steps back and wind his way up. And that one is outside us again. Once again, full count, 3-2. We're being very, very patient. On the batter's box, that one goes out of bounds, and another walk, and another run. Scored by the Twins, 12-7.
Now batting number 9, Dean Morrow.
Is the Twins' lead now. Over the Newton Rebels. From Klein Scott Field in Newton, Kansas, the Rebels once again meeting up at home plate. With runners, with bases loaded, top of the fourth. Only one out. Gotta kind of sense some frustration from the Rebels right now. I mean, they're probably wondering what else do we have to do to get these guys out at the end of the day. You know, so it's kind of working out those growing pains. You know, we've seen kind of some miscommunication between catcher and pitcher at times, but at the end of the day, there's still time to kind of bounce back here. Obviously, only a 5-point deficit for the Rebels. Let's get some runners out here. Let's turn this thing around.
Now pitching number 15, Dylan Dronay.
Dylan Dronay now making his way, going to replace Brendan Byer over on the pitcher's mound. We'll see if it kind of yields some different results for the Rebels. And here we go. New pitcher, once again, Dylan Dronay at the pitcher's mound. Going to fire this one in. Bases loaded for the Twins. Only one out here, top of the fourth. Pitch inside, or outside of the strike zone, I should say. Swung at, though. 1-0 count. 0-1 count. Get ahead of myself. That one outside of the strike zone, 1-1 count. And that one does make contact, of course, with the batter out to left field. Some runners going to be coming in. 1, 2, and over to third. Goes that hit right there. Holy smokes. Not a terrible one for the Twins, but the Rebels Can't be too happy after that one. Brings their deficit all the way up to 13-7, it looks like right now. No longer bases loaded. Runners on first and third. Second base probably feeling a little bit left out right now. That pitch to the inside, bottom right corner of the strike zone, 0-1 count. That pitch back into the backside of the fence, 0-2. Next pitch goes in and swung at. Got to strike out the batter. Haven't seen that too often today, but not a bad thing to see for the Rebels. 2 outs now, top of the fourth. That pitch fired out to left field. Rebels going to try to keep it out of the wall. Does not go over the wall, but some runners going to be heading home for the Twins. Juan Ruggiero not able to get that one out. Running out going over to third base. He gets there. But just like that, the lead continues to grow. Rebels now trail 14-7. Here, top of the fourth. Landrone still on the pitching mound for the Newton Rebels. Once again, top of the fourth, 2 outs. Runner on third. The Rebels not have the best inning of the day. Allowed 6 runs so far, top of the fourth. Landrone fires that one in there. Held off. That time by Aiden O'Malley. The batter, 2-0 count. Pitch goes in and to the bottom right, 3-0 count. This pitch goes in and made contact with by O'Malley. And he will get called out at first. And that will bring an end to the top of the fourth. Bottom of the fourth coming up. The Rebels got some making up to do. Down 14-7, but they've shown some fight before. Even today, we'll see what they can do. When we come back, you don't want to miss a thing.
Now to our sponsors, Bakers Tea Fields, prepared by Pathways Care Abundance Care Group, First Baptist Church, New First United Methodist, The Table, and Hope Freedom.
And welcome back into Klein Scott Field. The Newton Rebels currently bottom of the fourth, trailing the Twins 14-7. First pitch comes in and leads to a 1-0 count. Pitcher Kai Fatak for the Derby Twins. His second pitch goes off of the bat and out of play. The Twins defense tried to chase that one down, but unsuccessful on that try. Could be a big-time break eventually for the Rebels. I mean, every single strike or every single out matters that much more when you're down 14-7. Drew Nardell awaits the next pitch. Does a swing at it, and strike number 2 is called. 1-2 count. Pitch. Next one falls right into the dirt. 2-2 count.
Okay.
That one made contact with once again. Goes out of play.
Now batting number 39, Marcus Moeller.
I was misspoken. He will be striked out. 1 out already. Bottom of the fourth. My apologies. Can't get them all. (14-7) is the Twins' lead once again. Newton, Kansas. Finds Scott Field is the host of this one. Marcus Pollard takes a big swing at that one. 1-1 count. Pollard makes contact with that one. Sends it straight over to around that third base spot. And you will get called out. 2 outs now, bottom of the fourth. Next up now, it's like Ryan Ruggieri, the hometown kid, once again. First pitch, 0-1 count. Last night, Ruggiero didn't get any action, of course, when the squad went down to Derby, Kansas, just south of Wichita. So this is kind of his first night, kind of getting some spots or getting some time in the batter's box. Hasn't had too much success tonight, but still a lot to build on, I would feel like. 1-1 count. Now goes into the dirt, 2-1 count. Once again, 2 outs, bottom of the fourth. The Rebels trying to get back into this game down 7 points. Ball low, 3-1 count. Jerry going to have to remain patient here, try to get over the first any way he can. Makes contact. Out of play, foul ball. No harm, well, I was going to say no foul, but I don't know if that makes a lot of sense. 3-2. That one hits the back of Ruggiero. Going to head over to first base. Good job of staying in there, taking the contact for his squad. Trying to get his team back into this one. The hometown kid once again, Ryan Ruggiero. New batter. Coming up for the Rebels once again. Wyke once again coming up. We saw him make that big-time play at third base earlier on in the ball game. He's going to try to make another big play here right now. What's going up against Fatak on the pitcher's mound. Ball goes in. Wyke makes contact, sends it out to the outfield. And the right fielder gets underneath it. And just like that, the bottom of the fourth comes to a close. The Rebels unsuccessful in their attempt at getting getting some more, of course, runs on the board, still trailing 14-7 to the Derby Twins. We'll be back to the top of the fifth. Back in Newton, Kansas. 0-1 count now, top of the fifth. Starting us out here, top of the fifth. And makes contact out to right field, and the runner advances all the way over to first. Starting us out hot here, top of the fifth. Rebels once again trailing 14-7. Dylan Droney still on the pitching mound for the Rebels after that previous inning, or his previous try, where he allowed quite a bit of runs, 6 runs to head in, roughly. But he's going to try to turn his day around here. Let's go. Pitch goes in. Ball is the call. 1-0 count. Next pitch heads in and right down the strike zone, 1-1. Mitchell fires that one to left field. He's going to be getting on base, and he also advances Nolan Ganser over to second as well. Not the start once again to the inning that the Rebels were hoping for. Now next up, we're going to see Richard Gutierrez take some swings at it. Top of the fifth, 0 outs. 0-0 count. Gutierrez, another one of those guys, didn't get much action last night, at least in terms of hitting. Didn't get one single shot at it or one single crack at it. But now facing an 0-1 count. And that one falls off the ground. 1-1 count.
Yeah.
15-7 is the lead now for the Twins. Rebels went for the double play right there. Unsuccessful. Could not quite get that ball over to first in time. Nevertheless, though, runner advances over to third. And also, the Twins runner on first. Double count. Pitch goes outside. 1-0 count. That ball heads off the bat and out to right field. Hauled in, runner gets home. And other runners advance all the way over to second and third. Rebels now trailing 16-7.
Marlon, you're up.
That ball goes off the hands and over the second base, and then an out is made over at first. At the top of course, the fifth. 17-7 though. Now the lead for the Twins.
Navarro.
Top of the fifth. 2 outs. Runner on third. 1-0 count. Goes off of the bat of the batter. 1-1 count now. Navarro. Waiting for that one. 2-1. Two. Foul ball. Count going to stay 2-2. Ball seemed to hit off of a roof right there. Kind of scared me for a second there. Top of the fifth. 17-7. Twins lead. That ball not even able to make contact. Fouled out. 3 outs now. Top of the fifth. Rebels going to try and get some more points on the board, more runs on the board. Here, bottom of the fifth. When we come back, stay with us. Don't miss.
713 RJP. You are the lucky winner of a Shamrock Car Wash. Shamrock Car Wash located at 102 Main in Newton is ready to wash your car all summer long. Remember, it's your lucky day when you get a Shamrock Car Wash.
Clyde Scott Field, bottom of the fifth now. The Rebels, once again, up to bat. Down by 10, 17-7. Not the way they wanted to start out their home opener, but still a lot of time to turn this thing around. 1-0 count. Make that a 1-1 count. And next pitch is in, makes contact. Going to be a 1-2 right there. Blake Koss is the batter in currently. Making their way up and down the lineup to the Newton Rebels. Koss out of Pratt, Kansas, attending Pratt Community College currently. Koss, 3.33 was his batting average just last night. Have some more opportunities. He had 3 at-bats, 1 hit. Was not able to bring anybody home. Two is the count for Koss. 0 out still. Bottom of the fifth. Koss swings at that one. And wanted to go over the first place. Umpire, of course, going to be calling him off. Will be struck out. 1 out. Bottom of the fifth. Lopez going to be setting up to try and get on the base for the Rebels and trying to kind of cut into this deficit. First pitch, outside the strike zone, 1-0 count. That one heads in. Lopez makes contact, but out of play. 1-1 count. Fatak's still on the pitching mound, by the way, for the Twins. Pitched a handful of innings so far today. Clyde Scott Field. That one just barely stays inside the strike zone. 1-2 count now. Some great pitching, honestly, from the Twins all around, it feels like. That pitch a little bit low. 2-2. Lopez, 500 was the batting average just 24 hours ago. Does not swing at that one. 3-2 count. Full count. Anything could happen. Pitch heads in. Lopez makes contact. Pop fly. Staying in the infield. Third baseman gets underneath it and brings up the second out on the bottom of the fifth. Newton Rebels trying desperately to get some momentum back on their side. Now, too much success so far, but, you know, still a lot of time left once again. Chris Clark going to get a chance. Pitches in, and Clark makes contact, but the ball goes straight back. Strike one. Pitches in and out of the strike zone. 1-1. 2 outs. Once again, bottom of the fifth. No runners on base. Rebels down by 10, 17-7. Clark doesn't swing at that one, but going to be called a strike. Strike 2. Pitches in and out. Ball number 2. 2-2 count. Clark doesn't swing at it once again. 3-2 full count. Twins 14 total hits so far, 9 total only for the Rebels. 2 outs once again, and Clark can be walked all the way over to first. Good job of staying patient and awaiting his trip
Now batting number 15.
across the foul line.
Addison.
Strikes the foul line. Get ahead of myself. Jeez Louise, what am I saying? 2 outs. The bottom of the 5th, 2 outs once again. 1 runner now on first for the Rebels. Fatak still sends that one in there. Cooper Addison. Once again, back to bat, 0-1 count after that first one. Clark can look to steal second. He is successful. Good heads-up play. Catches the pitcher slipping a little bit on that one. Advancing all the way up to second from first. Pitch heads in, but it's and aside. 2-1 count now after the errant pitch. Addison 1 of 1 last night when called up to bat for the Rebels. Up against the Twins, 3-1 count now.
So,
Pitch. Heads in, not swung at, but will be called a strike. Addison maybe should have swung at that one. We'll see. 3-2 is the count. Chris Clark still planted on second. And Addison sends that one into right field. Clark rounding the bases. Going to be able to make it home and get the Rebels back up on the board. 17-8 is still the deficit, but the Rebels not going away easy. Runner going to be on first. Big time play by Addison, picking up an RBI and also getting himself on base himself. Still bottom of the 5th, 2 outs. Going to reset the count and start us back up again. Titan Goebel will be the one to hit the next set, of pitches. And the Twins, with that, going to meet up that home plate after only allowing 1 run after going 2 full innings without doing so. We'll be back momentarily for the second half of the bottom of the 5th. Welcome back into Newton, Kansas, Klein Scott Field. Want to thank some of our financial partners: Newton Lions Club, Best Pest Control, Miller Insurance Agency Incorporated, American Family Insurance, Charleston Insurance, and we'll name the rest of them throughout the rest of this ball game. 2 outs, bottom of the 5th, 0-0 count, runner on first for the Rebels. That one made contact with between left field and center field. Hits the ball. Might be seeing a runner make his way all the way over to home. We will see that off of the great double hit. Jeez Louise. Cutting into that lead is the Rebels. Now only trailing 17-9. Staying in this ball game. Of course, bottom of the 5th, still 2 outs. Going to have to be careful. But that's exactly what they need and what the Rebels need to get back into this ball game. Titan Goebel stayed in the batter's box, stayed cool, calm, and collected, was the one that got that RBI double on that one. Drew Wardell now in the batter's box. 0-1 count. Pitch heads in. Nearly hits the batter. Flirting with it a little bit, but grazes him, I guess. Umpire not going to rule it a walk. Kenny Fistler now pitching for the Twins after they made that previous pitching change. Picture change. Drew Wardell does not swing at that one. Strike number 2. 1-2 count, bottom of the 5th. A little bit of a curveball going away from him a little bit right there. Going to lead to strike number 3 and the end of the bottom of the 5th. We're going to be moving into the 5th inning. Anything can happen still for your Newton Rebels. Stay with us.
Do you like money? Yes, you do.
Klein Scott Field, Newton, Kansas.
Rebel pitchers.
Welcome back, Klein Scott Field, Newton, Kansas. Let's run through some of our, other financial partners. Why don't we? Charleston Insurance, United States Bank, Faith and Life Bookstore, Big Brothers and Big Sisters of Harvey County, court-appointed special advocates, Midway Motors and Newton, Mark Fox Legal, Wagon Realtor, Conradi Insurance Group, Pat and Poe, LLC Attorney at Law, Partridge Roofing Services. We'll continue to read through them throughout the rest of this ballgame. Let's look at some of our host families, maybe. Why don't we? Becky Day family, Carrie Buddy family, Heather Haskew family, Hope Graber family, Kelly Peoples family, Kim Pouch family, Melissa Wardell family, Michelle Kaufman family. Not too bad, not too bad. Top of the 6th now. Rebels trailing 17-9. Pitch heads in. Just on top of the strike zone. 0-1 count. Dylan Droney still firing off these pitches. 1-1 count. Pitch heads in, makes contact. Does the Twins out to left field. Going to be hitting off the ground and off the backside wall. Running the bases now is the Twins. Good job by the Rebels of stopping the runner over on second on that one. Once again, Cade Sheldon was the one that made contact with that one. And now, up next, Holden Pantier. Holden holds off on that one. Strike one, 0-1 count.
It's good, it's down. It's in
1-1 count.
two. I don't know, I had.
Big thanks to Platinum PDR Plus Paint, Roofing Services Unlimited, Shamrock Car Wash and Pouch Enterprises, John Oldham family, Newton Rebels founder Carl Hodges and family, and Arma Coatings of Wichita. 3-1 count. Runner still on second for the Twins. Top of the sixth, 0 outs. That pitch heads down the middle for the strike. 3-2 count. Full count. Twins going to have to kind of stay patient here. Obviously, they probably want to get some more runs on the board here, but you still have a lot of time left. 17-9 is their lead. Pitch off. And going to be called a ball. Runner heading over to first. Just like that. Once again, that was Holden Pantier. Going to be taking over the spot over at first. First and second now, taken up by the Twins. Aiden O'Malley saw him make some big-time plays earlier today. Going to be stepping back up to the plate. That one. Going to be called a strike, 0-1 count. O'Malley, not a lot of luck last night in terms of hitting. I mean, he had 3 at-bats. 1 run he was able to bring in, but 0 hits. That ball going to graze the top left corner of the strike zone. Strike 2, 1-2 count. Ball fired in there. Ball number 2, 2-2 count. Drone receives the signal. Gonna fire this pitch off. Does just that. Gonna be inside. 3-2 count. Full count to be exact. All the pressure's on Drone to potentially get this batter out. Would be a much needed strike as the runner attempts to steal third. He's going to be successful. Rogerio off the mark on his pass over to third. And it does bring in yet another run for the Derby Twins, who now hold an 18-9 overall lead. The runner that made its way over to first was Cade Sheldon. That's the conclusion to that one. Steven Vasquez. Not going to be pitching this. Not going to be trying to track down these pitches. Dylan Drone. Drone in there, bottom right corner of the strike zone. 0-1 count. That ball goes off of his bat. Going to be more of a pop fly, but instead it goes right in front of the center fielder for the Rebels. Another run heading in for the Derby Twins. That one bringing in by Holden Pantier. Rebels now down 19-9. Top of the sixth, 1 out. Doesn't want to swing at that one quite yet. Going to be patient with this one. 1-0 or 0-1 is the count. That one behind the batter. Good job by Ryan Ruggiero of kind of tracking that one down and keeping it out of harm's way. Pitch is in. Not going to swing at it, though. 1-2 count. 19-9. Once again, the Twins lead. Top of the sixth, 1 out. Mitchell. Still not going to swing at it quite yet. 2-2 is the count. Nearing a full count once again. Big golden opportunity to kind of get this guy out. Get this batter out. Get the Rebels second out of the inning. And Mitchell swings at that one, and indeed going to be getting him out right there. 2-3 is the final count on that one. 2 outs now. Top of the sixth. Rebels trying to get themselves back into the dugout without giving up any more runs. Gutierrez. Not going to swing at that one. Pitch goes into the dirt. Ball 1. Nolan Ganter still on first base for the Twins. Trying to get Ganter out. Ganter heads up play. Keeps himself alive. Ball number 2, 2-0 count. First piece of action tonight for Gutierrez against the Rebels. Didn't get much last night, as I mentioned before. 3-0 count. 2 outs. Top of the sixth. That one goes off of Gutierrez's bat and back into the cage behind him. 3-1. Long inning for Dylan Droney. Receives the signal, fires it in there. And then Gutierrez gets a piece of it. Going to make his way over to first. And a runner also does make it over to third. So miscommunication. And it looks like another runner going to be able to make it home. The Twins grow their lead 20-9. Out of some more miscommunication early on in the season. From the Newton Rebels, Steven Vasquez gets in off the Gutierrez RBI. Nolan Herchuk, left-handed batter, going to be trying to grow this lead even more. Up against Droney. Gets a piece of that one. Going to be fouled out to left. Excuse me, the Rebels able to haul that one in there. Off of the third baseman, running his way out all the way over to almost the dugout to haul that one in there. That was, of course, third baseman. The same third baseman that, of course, got that big-time play earlier on in the evening. Lance Wyke, big-time plays from him all night long. And that one brings up the end of the top of the sixth. The bottom of the sixth coming your way. Twins leading the Rebels 20-9.
Smaller.
Welcome back. Bottom of the sixth. Now for the Newton Rebels up against the Twins. Down big right now. 20-9 is the overall deficit. First pitch. Heads in. It will be a ball. Ball 1-0 count. So Marcus Pollard back in the batter's box. 1-1 count. Away once again up and down the lineup. It would be kind of crazy not to kind of thank our in-kind supporters. Gorilla Apparel, Back Alley Pizza, Bob Burke, and BuyLocalPlus.com magazine, Newton Recreational Commission, YMCA Newton, and Summer Days. 2-1 count. That next pitch, going to be just inside the strike zone. Kind of went down and back up. 2-2 count. So they get to our Meal Makers, Pathways, Care, Women's Care Group, First Baptist Church Newton, First United Methodist Church, The Table, and Hope Graber. 2-2 count. Pitcher and catcher going to kind of have a few words. So bottom of the sixth, 0 out. Next pitch coming in. Going to be just to the outside. 3-2. Our count here now. Pollard. Not going to swing at that one, but he's going to be heading over to first. A ball number 4. Quick, easy trip to first for Pollard. One of his easiest ones of the day, to be honest with you. Going to reset the count in the bottom of the sixth. Still some time left for the Rebels to get some more runs on the board and kind of cut into this lead, continue to. Ryan Ruggiero playing catcher for the Rebels tonight. Going to get another trip to the batter's box. Takes a swing at that one. 0-1 count. Next pitch in and off the bat of Ruggiero. Going to be fouled out to the right. Kenny Fistler still the pitcher in for Derby. Sure, not going to swing at that one. And he will get fouled out. Or not fouled out, excuse me, striked out. Getting my sports mixed up right there. 3 strikes. That will be the first out of the inning. Bottom of the sixth. Or the first out of the bottom of the sixth. Goodness gracious. Next pitch, heads in. No contact is made. Strike number 1. Lance Wyke. Back. Big right-handed hitter. Right-handed hitting third baseman. Not going to swing at that one. Strike number 2. Marcus Pollard once again, the runner on first for the Rebels. Wyke makes contact, but straight over to the second baseman, who brings that one down. A big-time play right there. Goodness gracious, on the inside. Ferreira was the one that hauled that one in. That's now 2 outs of the inning for the Newton Rebels. Going to reset the count and go back at it once again. Once again, that was Wyke that wasn't able to get the best of that one. Blake Koss. With batting here, puts that one up in the air. Pop fly opportunity, but luckily for the Rebels, the Twins, that will call that one in before it hits the ground. 0-1 count. Bissler fires that one in there. Koss makes contact, but they're going to be calling it a foul. 0-2 count. Koss, 1 of 3 last night from the batter's box, and he's going to be getting a hit right there, potentially an RBI. RBI double potentially, and yes, sir, the Rebels are going to be cutting into the lead, continuing to cut into the lead. Now down 20 to 10 here, bottom of the 6th. Big time play right there from Koss. Pollard was the one, of course, that was on first base, but then it went all the way around to first, or all the way around to home, excuse me. Jordy Lopez now up to hit. Runner now on second. We'll see for how long. First pitch results in a ball. 1-0 is the count. 2 outs, bottom of the 6th. Rebels up to bat. Lopez swings for the fences, trying to get that one over the far fence. Holy smokes, 1-1. Lopez resets. Awaits the Fissler pitch. He receives it. And it's going to be a ball. 2-1. Lopez finally makes contact out to left field. And they're not able to get to it, but it will get called a foul. Instead of what could have been potentially a double RBI. Looked like to me, but big time break for the Twins. 2-2 count. Lopez makes contact out to first, and he will be beat to the plate. Just barely. Lopez trying his best, absolute best, to still find his way over to first to keep this inning alive, but unsuccessful. That is the 3rd out of the bottom of the 6th, top of the 7th coming up, making our way through this one. And the Twins still up on the Rebels, 20 to 10. We'll see what happens when we come back. Stay with us. And we're back in Newton, Kansas. Ferreira up to bat for the Twins. Goes for the swing on that one. Going to be called a ball. Umpire doesn't say he got the bat around far enough. 1-0. And going to be a 2-0 count after that one. Top of the 7th. 0 outs. 0 outs still. And make that a 2-1 count. Okay, some solid pitching to start us off on the Rebels. Next pitch is fired in a little bit far. Going to be ball number 3, 3-1 count. Dylan Jerome still the pitcher and for the Rebels. He's pitched a handful of innings for him. 3-2 count. Top of the 7th still. 0 outs. Foul ball. 3-2 count remaining. Or still 3-2 count. Drone makes contact with the batter on the pitch. Going to be a quick walk. Gifted to the Twins. Twins still up 20-10, top of the 7th. Alex Dabrowski making his first appearance from the batter's box, 1-0 count. Dabrowski makes contact with that one out to center field. Rebels going to try and get underneath it. Unsuccessful. Going to bring runners to first and second on the miscommunication in the outfield. That's what you're going to see for the Rebels. The Twins, once again, starting to get some bodies on these bases. Top of the 7th, still 0 outs. Big play from Dabrowski. First time we've, of course, once again, called his name, but he gets up on first base. Exactly what the coaches are probably asking of him. Ryan Ruggiero unsuccessful in hauling in the pitch. Runners advance. Second and third. Respected. 1-0 count. Make that a 1-1 count. After that, previous pitch. Warren is once again on second and third for the Twins. 1-1 count, top of the 7th. Fired in there, and contact is made. The foul ball territory. If anybody has their cars parked outside of that right side of foul ball territory, I feel bad for you. That might have made some contact over there. 1-2 count. Contact is made out now to left. And once again, a foul ball is called. 1-2 count remaining. Or still a 1-2 count. Cade Sheldon. Well, it's firing off these hits to try to keep it in play. Just out of the reach of them, 2-2 count. Sheldon makes contact, keeps it in play. Yes, he does. Out to left field. Brings a runner home and also brings a runner out to third, and he makes his way out to second. Twins now leading 21-10. Runners on second and third, top of the 7th, still 0 outs. Not a bad RBI double for the young man. Holden Pantier, third baseman, also plays some second base out of Walters State, Erie, Colorado. Makes contact with that one. Foul ball out to the right side. Journey fires that one in there. 1-0-2 count. Pitch is in, and contact that time was made by Pantier, but goes straight backwards for the foul. 0-2 count still. Pantier, 200 batting average. Just last night, hits that one out to left field in a big-time play by the Rebels defense outside of getting that out, but Rebel does make his way, or the Twins do find a way, inevitably, to get a runner back home. That's if I'm not mistaken. The play that got the one out was Dabrowski. We saw him make that big-time hit after just getting into the game the first time. And he makes his way back home. Big-time impact. 0-0 count, 1 out now. The top of the 7th.
Oh! He didn't tag it all. He went straight home.
Runner on second for the Twins. Contact. That's made by the batter. Oh, 1 count. Go straight down into the dirt. Going to be a 1-1 count now. Dylan Ladrone is still out there for the Rebels. Wouldn't be surprised to see maybe a pitching change, if not in the middle of this inning, maybe even next. 2-1 count. Makes contact with that one, sends it out to center field, and it bounces off the far side wall. Going to make his way all the way over to second, over to third, and have a runner go home. An RBI triple on that one. Holy smokes. Non-stop action, it feels like. Cade Sheldon, the one that made his way home and grow this lead to 23-10 for the Derby Twins over the Newton Rebels. Still top of the 7th, 1 out. Runner now on third. Reset the count. Start this thing back up. Another meeting out in center, actually. The center of the infield for the Newton Rebels. Could see maybe that pitching change coming up here. Gotta applaud, honestly, Dylan Dronell. Dylan Droney, excuse me. Having a lot of time over on the pitching mound. He did a valiant job, I would say. There with Ryan Rogerio still. Catcher spot. Change coming in. It's like Blake Koss out of Pratt Community College, Pratt, Kansas. Going to be relieving for him. We'll be back momentarily for the rest of the top of the 7th. 0-1 count for the Twins. Starting at the top of the 7th. Pitching change indeed made for the Rebels. Blake Haas had a lot of batting time tonight, to be honest with you, from the batter's box. But for the first time tonight, seeing what he's got from his right arm. 1-2 count. My name once again, Adrian Holguin. And that one a little bit low. Or no, a little bit low, but it still does get into the strike zone. 3 count now. Strike number 2. Pitch right down the middle. Strike number 1. Here in the top of the 7th, 2 outs. Toss pitch is up and nearly hits the batter. Barely grazes his front side. Nolan Gunter. Ganner. Batter up. Strike number 2. 1-2 is the count. Runner still on third for the Twins. Top of the 7th, 2 outs. Ganner also didn't have much time batting last night, but he's making an impact tonight, to say the least. Ganner makes contact with that one, sends it out to left field, and off of the far side wall, RBI. Still rounding the base, he can make his way all the way out to second. And just like that, the Twins, 24-10, is their lead. Aiden O'Malley was the one that made his way around and back over to home plate. Richard Gutierrez got to set up and try and grow this lead even more from the batter's box. Strike 1. 0-1 count. Goss up top. Ball number 1, 1-1 count. Makes contact with that one. Does Gutierrez, and Goss picks up the pop fly. The 3rd out of the top of the 7th. Bottom of the 7th coming your way. The Rebels down 14, heading into it. We'll be back momentarily. Stay with us. And we'll go back to Klein Scott Field. A bit of a pitching change being made now for the Derby Twins. Lance Elson making his way over to the pitching mounds out of Newman University. Newman University, I mean, doesn't have to travel too far from there to Derby, to be honest with you. Just down the road, to be honest. Just down the interstate, man. Rebels. We'll be right back here tomorrow because the Great Bend Bat Cats. Wow. Wow. June 3rd, 7 o'clock, right here. Klein Scott Field. We would love for you to join us. Come over here and join us in the stands for that one. Now back at the top of the lineup, it looks like Chris Clark going to be heading up here next to bat for the Rebels. Clark kind of holding it down from center field. Popping down, bringing down a lot of fly balls for the Rebel defense. Twins once again up 24-10, bottom of the 7th, 0 outs. From Newton, Kansas. Clark. He gets hit by the pitch on that one. That was a pretty hard contact. Clark kind of holding his arm, holding on to the first base, going over to first base. Hard-earned trip to first if I've ever seen one. After Clark, next up in the lineup, it's Cooper Addison. Called his name a lot today. A pretty solid day, at least in terms of hitting, I would say. Addison. Stared down the pitch. Leans back. And the ball is called. 1-0 is the count. Very similar pitch up top, 2-0. Down the count, bottom of the 7th, 0 out still. See if the Rebels can maybe get some stuff going here. Pitch fired in, and it looks like indeed the Rebels will get a stolen base up the second. Big time heads up play. That time by the man second in the lineup, Chris Clark. Addison still in the batter's box, 3-0 count now. After a stolen base, thanks once again to Newton Lions Club, Best Pest Control, Miller Insurance Agency, American Family Insurance, Ken Hall, Charleston Insurance, Union State Bank, Faith and Life Bookstore, Big Brothers and Big Sisters of Harvey County. As Addison gets walked over to first base. Bottom of the 7th, 0 outs. The Rebels have runners on first and second. Kobe Gomez getting his first kind of shot at it in terms of hitting, number 5. Gomez out of Pratt Community College. Hometown right here in Newton, Kansas. Got to give it up for the hometown guy out here, if I do say so myself. 0-0 count. Pitch is in and up top, 1-0. Addison and Clark once again on first and second base respectively for the Rebels. That pitch up top once again, 2-0 count. Lance Elson still on the pitcher's mound for the Twins. Gomez tries to track that one down. Swing a little bit too early, I believe. 2-1 count. That pitch up top. 3-1 is the count. Gomez potentially could receive a free trip to first. We'll see what happens. Elson fires that one in there. 3-2 count now. We'll see who gets the better of this one, Elson or, of course, once again, Colby Gomez. Gomez swings for that one, unsuccessful in his try. 1 out now, bottom of the 7th. The runners on first and second for the Rebels.
Jack Gardner.
Jack Gardner, first baseman at Hutchinson Community College, Warsaw, Missouri. A junior over there at excuse me, 1-0-1 count. Bottom of the 7th, 1 out. The previous one. Sends him in the face right there, holy smokes. Ball 2. Or ball 1. I'm going to catch my breath here. Pitch just up top of the strike zone. Ball number 2. Some slow, methodical pitching so far from Lance Elson ever since he got into the ball game. Big number 38. Out of Newman University once again. Pitch goes up top, 3-1 count. Only 1 out. Once again for the Rebels. A lot to work with, potentially. And it looks like Cross will be able to steal third from second to third. Another big heads-up play. Cross really kind of wants to kind of get his way. Chris Clark, excuse me, I got my names mixed up there. Jeez, we can't bat 1,000. Can't bat 1,000. It's impossible. It's impossible. Makes his way over to third. Pitches in and up top once again. And with that, we will see a walk. Jack Gardner, the hometown kid, or gets off the road, Hutchinson Community College. Heads over to first. Bases down loaded for the Rebels. We'll see what they can do. Reset the count and start this thing back up. Elson going to send this first pitch. Up top once again. He loves that spot just on top of the strike zone. Ball 1. Nelson sends it in up top once again. So Marcus Pollard could be back up to bat for the Rebels. Three-0 count. Only 1 out still. Bottom of the 7th. The Rebels are going to start eating into this lead. They got to do it now. Honestly, now or never. It's the Newton Rebels. Strike number 2. Strike number 1. 3-1 count. Clyde Scott Field. Centennial Park, Newton, Kansas. Once again, come over and visit us, man. I mean, we don't bite, to be honest. 3-2 count. We'll be back in action just 24 hours from now, taking on Great Bend. For the Rebels. And that one will send the runner over to first. And the walk will also put another run on the board from Chris Clark. Saw him steal that base earlier on. And he gets rewarded with a trip to home. 24-11 is the Twins' lead. Ryan Ruggiero once again The catcher for us tonight, hometown kid out of North Newton, Kansas. Got to set up to give some more cracks at it. Quick trip into the middle for the Twins at the pitcher's mound. While they kind of facilitate that change, we'll be back. Let's take a quick break. We will be back. Don't leave us. Don't leave us. This is the bottom of the 7th from Klein Scott Field, Newton, Kansas. Brian Ruggiero makes his way over to the batter's box. Facing off against now Aiden Duggan over on the pitching mound. If I'm not mistaken. Huh? Actually, it's not Aiden. My apologies. No, it actually is. 1-0 count, nevertheless. Bottom of the 7th. Aiden fires that one in there. Right side of the strike zone. 1-1 count. Base is still loaded for the Rebels. Down 13. Contact is made along the foul line. Brings one home. Brings a second home. And with that, Ryan Ruggiero scores a 2 RBI double. Heck of a job from Ruggiero of also getting himself over to second. He will be called out, but at the end of the day, he did get 2 runners in. I mean, you got to sacrifice it out for 2 runs. In my opinion. Bottom of the 7th, 2 outs. First pitch. Modified the strike zone. 0-1 count. Lance Waikey receives the pitch. Inside. 1-1 count. Bottom of the 7th once again. Some of the partners we have: Midway Motors of Newton, Mark Fox, local Wigan Realtor, Conradi Insurance Group, LLC over on Broadway, Peyton Paul, LLC attorney at law, Patrick's Roofing Services, People's Bank and Trust, Platinum PDR Plus Paint, Roofing Services Unlimited, Shamrock Car Wash and Pouch Enterprises, John Oldham Family, Newton Rebels founder Carl Hodges and family, and Arma Coatings of Wichita. 1-2 count. Pitch goes in. And just in enough. That will be a strikeout. And that will bring it in to the bottom of the 7th. Top of the 8th. Fixing to commence.
Newton Rebels 13. Derby Twins 24.
Or excuse me. That will be out of the ruling. Obviously, you know, Twins up 24-11. It wasn't really the ball game that the Rebels would have wanted. Of course, heading over to their home opener. And let's look back once again at last night's ball game. The Rebels fell short by a score of 11-3. They kept it pretty close throughout the first 3 innings. First 6 innings, to be honest with you. It was tied up 3 apiece through that point, but come the 7th, I mean, the Rebels kind of, they fell apart a little bit. They got 7 runs in the 8th inning, 1 in the 7th. Good enough to lose by a score of 11-3. And then today, losing by an overall score. Losing by an overall score 24-11. Not something they would want to, but there's a lot of time in the season still to kind of right this ship a little bit and trying to get some more wins on the board here. As I was mentioning before, the Newton Rebels will return right here in Klein Scott Field in Centennial Park, Newton, Kansas, to face off against the Great Band Batcats at 7 o'clock p.m. right here once again in Newton, Kansas. For the Newton Rebels, my name is Adrian Holguin. Thank you for joining me, and we will be back tomorrow. Don't want to miss a thing. Thank you very much, guys.